Here he is. He's straight sports, folks. It's Bracket Dan. Bracket Dan, it's nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me, dudes, bros.
You're just a guy who likes a little hoop, maybe some suds.
Been preparing all year.
You don't go to work on Thursday or Friday, and if you do, you use a little fake screensaver thing.
Absolutely.
You're a guy who loves tourney time.
I'll probably be at Hooters.
Yeah, for sure.
For the opening round.
A lot of people like the tournament. For you, the tournament is a way of life.
Yeah, no, I've been preparing for this. Love brackets. Love filling out brackets. Filled out quite a few of them. Scenario has a great one.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm interested in anything. Funniest, TV shows, bracket.
Yep. Best 80s movie tits.
But this is where it all started. The NCAA tournament. The big one.
Yeah.
The
one seed of
granddaddy of them all.
brackets.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. If yes, absolutely. So, you guys want to take calls, phone calls and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
That's
there's ever been
do.
a time where people needed you more
Can you do
than
that
right
actually
now.
on this
I don't
medium?
know. I don't know, but I
like
aim
with
to
the
find
ticket,
out.
it was easy.
You press a button.
Like you had listeners, and now you got like 5 people watching you.
Right.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Let's try to go to the phones and see if we can help people out as they try to fill out their brackets.
Okay. Well, I got a call list in front of me.
Who's up first?
Let's try Dave in Flower Mound.
Dave, you're on. You get to talk to Bracket Dan. Go, sir.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Bracket. First time, long time.
Appreciate you.
There's been a lot of talk these last couple of days in Detroit as the tournament nears. Some people even suggesting that maybe could Troy upset Kentucky now. The Detroit fans are talking about that. What's interesting, Dan, is that I'm sure the live stream brought this up yesterday, but we didn't talk about it at all. Maybe you guys did bring it up at all. I mean, Mark Pope has never won a tournament with the Wildcats, but they should be getting Lamont Butler back. And the Trojans are the worst three-point shooting team in the tournament. Like, can the Cinderella this year beat Troy? They'd have to beat Kentucky in the first round.
That's a great question, Dave. Don't let him eat the napkin. Bracket Dan, go.
That's a long question, yeah. Well, clearly he's just talking about the tournament.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, comprises 64 teams split into 4 groups. They're called regions. Now, schools, for the most part, not assigned to a region because of where they're from. It's just where the games in that group are played. Each group or region will have 16 teams ranked from 1 to 16.
It's okay.
And then the matchups follow the rankings. The number 1 team in that certain region will play the number 16, number 2, 15, and so on. And then the tournament, single elimination. And eventually one team emerges victorious from each of the 4 regions. That group is then called the Final Four.
Of course, yeah.
Where you will see the Dumb Zone broadcasting live from San Antonio, thanks to Lone Star Beer. So
I get the intrigue.
Let's go to Patrick. If we move on the phone lines here, Patrick,
you're on with Bracket Dan.
Hello, gentlemen. I just was curious, since Dan is technically a resident of Hot Springs, Arkansas, does he think that Arkansas can move on to defeat Kansas once again?
Boy, that is a great question for you, Bracket Dan. Thanks, Patrick. What do you think?
That's interesting.
What about those root hogs, Danny
Interesting
boy?
to think about it based on geographical location because, a lot of people talk about the attitude of certain teams, but altitude can also affect teams. So when you're traveling to a different region, and then you might not want to pick based on attitude or altitude. Some people pick teams based on colors or mascot preferences. That's not a great strategy, but if that's what makes you happy, by all means, brackets should be fun. Just want you to enjoy your time here. Thanks for the call, Patrick. We go on to Mike in Dallas.
That's
Mike.
really what Bracket Dan is all about, Blake, is just having a good time.
Yes.
Hi, Mike.
Mike in Dallas.
Hello, Jake, Blake, Clayton, you guys got me?
Yes, sir. You're on the line. You really can't have it all. You're talking to Bracket Dan.
Is Bracket Dan there?
Hello, Mike. What do you got?
Holy
Need some help
shit.
filling out your brackets?
I know.
Or?
It took me a minute, too, but I'm used to it now because I get to work with them every year.
Oh, I just woke up, and I'm already nervous. Bracket Dan, hello. Big fan. My eyes are excitedly drawn to one game as if it were the bulge of a tranny. Michigan, San Diego, the 12 versus 5 in the East.
Ooh.
San Diego steals the ball a lot. Michigan averages 14 turnovers. This just come down to Michigan guards Burnett and
Mike.
Donaldson.
Hey, Mike, as a longtime fan of Bracket Dan, I don't have to tell you, a 12-5, hate to see this man coming.
12-5.
Tell me back.
Thanks for your call.
12-5 upsets, actually very popular picks every year. In 2024, as a matter of fact, 2 12-seed winners. Grand Canyon beat St. Mary's, and James Madison beat Wisconsin.
It's like half of them.
In 4 first-round games. That is, hold on a second here, 50%.
Incredible.
Of all the games.
Hey, he wants you to have fun, but he's a data guy at heart.
We have Mark is up next. Person's name is Mark.
Hey, Mark, you're on with Bracket Dan.
Brack.
What's up, bud?
Hey, Brack. It's great to hear your voice again, man.
Hey, man.
Tennessee alum, I just wonder if this could be our year to finally break through to the Final Four. Got to the Elite Eight last year. We're number 2 seed again. And a follow-up, if Luka was on any one of these 64 teams, would they win it all?
God, that's a good one. That's a great call. Let's see if Rick Barnes and the boys can get back to the Final Four. Bracket, what do you think?
Well, only 11 number 2 seeds have ever lost to number 15 seeds in the first round. You might remember Princeton beat Arizona in 2023. They went on to beat Missouri in the second round that year to get to the Sweet 16. They lost to Creighton. So really, you got to think about that when you look deeper into the tournament. Thanks for the call.
Can I interject as NIT Jake over here?
Sure.
I saw, pardon my take, talking to Alex Caruso about this. How many guys in the league are there? And Caruso settled at like 20 to 30. That they could get you to the championship game, 16
like being
seed
on any team?
right now. Yeah, because his point was like, big men are just going to, they're just going to destroy you. There's just no chance. These are grown big men who you know from going to NBA practices can actually shoot threes if they just get to.
Could you take...
So Luka's a lock, yes. Can you imagine Giannis?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, every NBA player, if you put them on the worst women's team...
They would be, yes.
Do they go to the finals?
Yes. They would never lose.
You just have one player.
So
any NBA player.
Can we make it like not G League?
So not
two-way guys.
Not Bronny.
Not Bronny, and not like Kessler Edwards.
Or does it have to be any NBA player who averages 20 minutes a night?
Let me put it to you. We can lower it.
Jaden Hardy.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Okay, Jaden Hardy.
Yes, would win a women's national championship. Jaden Hardy
on the 16th seed. So the first game they play is against like UConn or whoever's good.
Yeah. I think Jaden Hardy on a 16 seed in the men's division could get you a couple wins for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're winning all if you're going all the way. But yeah, women's is they would win every game.
That's good to think about.
It's good to know that Bracket Dan still has a little vein of misogyny in him after all these years. Who's next?
Oh, I got a vein for the ladies. We have Ted in Coppell. Ted.
Yes, Bracket Dan. My question concerns the top overall seed, the Auburn Tigers, who come in having lost 3 of 4. It was just a few days ago that Bruce Pearl, their coach, said on national TV that, quote, "My guards aren't pussies," end quote. Now, as the authority on all things pussy, in fact, as we enter this Lenten season, dare I say the Pontius Pilate of pussy, Bracket Dan, does Auburn have what it takes to win it all?
That's a great question.
Boy,
you might know.
Call.
Well, it sounds like you do know that only 2 number 1 seeds have ever lost to a 16 seed since the expansion to 64 teams in 1985. Both upsets have happened in the last 7 years. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that number 16 seed UMBC beat Virginia in 2018. And then Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue with Zach Edey, in 2023. The first one, though, is considered one of the biggest mysteries in all of college basketball history. No one knows what UMBC is, or if it's actually a real school. They don't. It's
so it
like
makes
all of a sudden they're in the tournament and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And no one's heard from them before or since. So great call, Ted.
That was.
We go to Grant. 2 more calls, and then we're done. Grant.
Yes. As a person who only watches the tournaments, this will go to NIT Jake. Do you see UNT going far this year?
Well, I mean, I think it's always a question that you have to ask, right? Because, look, you could take your family of 4 up there to the Super Pit, which I believe is where they still play, and you can see UNT all day. You can see UNT when it's wet. You can see UNT when it's dry. But when it comes to tournament time, I think, you're spot on that there's really nobody else in the nation that right now wants to see UNT in the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to go with your gut.
Right.
Sometimes it can be a stinky proposition.
It can.
But
it can.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Mean Green just have herpes. I don't know. The yes and was done there. Who's the next caller?
We're going to end it with Greg in Robeson Ranch, whatever that is.
Greg, you're on the line. Great to talk to you, sir.
Oh, geez, Louise, thank you a lot, guys. I was wondering, maybe what did you think about UCLA number 7 in the Midwest with the combination of John Wooten and Bill Walton?
That's a great question about the Bruins call.
That is interesting. Yeah, no, number 7 seed. The main thing with the NCAA tournament and the bracket scoring is to understand how the scoring works. That's your first step to success.
Yeah.
So
Stableford.
You start with 11-6 upsets are the most common. And then all the teams that are in the tournament, they play elimination play-ins called the first 4, the last 4 that get in the tournament.
Hold on, real quick, Bracket
and then don't worry about those games.
I'm getting we have a call in here from a man named Run the Ball Guy. What do you think of this expansion of the tournament?
I think it's kind of horse shit. Either you earn your way in or you're not invited.
All right, back to you, Bracket Dan.
Yeah. So, 16 games are going to be Thursday and Friday of this coming week. For the men, of course. Friday and Saturday for the women, if you're into that. You into that, Run the Ball Guy? The women's tournament?
It's a tough watch.
Anyway, like I said, 11-6 upsets are the most common. Actually, even more than 10s versus 7s, but just barely. But the 12-5... and then all the way to the 16-1 upset. Don't even consider 8 and 9. That's as close as pick'em as it gets. So, but anyway, that's what leads us to this week, and it's the tournament time. It's very, very exciting. I can't wait till it all gets started. And I hope I helped you fill out your bracket. You can check out Scenario. Go to dumbzone.com, from what I understand. And
thanks,
that's it.
man. Yeah, it's been really great to have you
me.
here. Yeah, for sure. We'll see you in 364. You take care of yourself, okay?